Welcome back to the HTML series. In the last lesson, we learned about text area, drop-down menus, and buttons in a form. Today, we are going to make our form smarter and safer using form validation. Form validation helps make sure that the user enters correct information. For example, making a field required, limiting the number of characters, setting minimum or maximum values, making sure email or password follows a pattern. Let's start coding. First of all, let's create a file for this lesson. I'm going to name it validation.html. Enter. So let's create general structure for the HTML tag. Inside the HTML tag, a tag, and also body tag. Inside the head tag, let's create a title. Set the title to HTML form validation. HTML form validation. Let's create an H2 or heading. So I'm gonna set the heading to form validation examples and save it. Open with live server. So now we are inside our HTML form validation page, and on the tab bar you can see HTML form validation that we have set it here inside the title. And also here you can see inside the page we set the heading to form validation examples. So let's continue and create a form. First, let's create a form container, and inside the form container, first we are going to learn about required field that the user must fill this. Okay, let's create first of all a label for this one. Create a label and set the label to name, and I'm gonna write inside this that required. Name is required. Don't miss the name. So I'm gonna add a tag, a for tag, and I'm set it to name. And also I'm gonna write an input tag and set the type tag to text. It's a text box, and also ID is equal to name. For tag and ID tag must have the same value. Okay, and also let's set a required tag. So required tag that our name box must be empty. And also a placeholder. I'm going to close this one to see. Placeholder is equal to enter your name and save it. So here we have a text box here and also a name label. So here I'm gonna set name to Ahmad. So let's create as button as well. A button. So I'm gonna create an input tag, and inside the input tag I'm gonna set the type to submit and value to submit, and save it. Yes, I'm gonna create here 2 line break as well and save it. Now you can see a submit button. If I click on submit button, you will see an error message automatically appear here that please fill out this field. Don't put it empty. So if I put the name Ahmad and submit it, so the message does not appear if I don't fill it. So if I click it, then it will appear that please fill out the field. Okay, let's go and study another section of this lesson. Less than, exclamation mark, dash dash. And now we are going to study about email validation. Email validation. And first of all, let's create a label and set the label to email. I'm gonna write inside the brackets must be valid. So, and let's create an email box input, and I'm gonna set the type to email, and I'm gonna set the ID email as well, and also I'm gonna set required tag as well here, and placeholder to enter your email. And also here I'm gonna set a for tag as well too, the same as ID, which is email. So if I save it, so here I'm gonna copy this and paste here the line breaks, paste it and save it. So now we have an email validation box. So here if I write, for example, ABC and here name Ahmad, and if I submit it, here an error message appear that please include an hat in the email address. ABC is missing an hat. So it means when I set the type to email and also I define the required tag, so here if I don't add character, it will appear for as a message. So add, for example, let's go and save it, and let's name Ahmad and this email address, and if I submit it, so the error message does not appear here. So let's continue the lesson. Let's learn this time about minimum and maximum value. Set label. Inside the label, I'm gonna set the H. I'm gonna set here the H must be between 1 and 100. So a for tag as well, I'm gonna set it to H, and let's create an input box I'm gonna set the type to number because age is number, and also I'm gonna set the ID the same as for tag age, and also I'm gonna set the minimum value must be 1 and the maximum value must be, for example, 100 years old. And I'm gonna set a placeholder as well. Placeholder is equal to enter age, and also I'm gonna create a line break, 2 line breaks to separate from buttons. Save it, and here you can see that I created a number selector here, so I can create the minimum is 1 and the maximum is 100. If I change it to 10, you can see here that the maximum number that we can select is 10. We cannot go beyond 10. So let's change it to 100, save it, and continue our lesson. Scroll it down, and now you're going to learn about another section that it is maximum characters. Maximum characters. So first of all, let's set a label. Set a label to username, and username must not go beyond 10 characters, or I'm gonna write here max 10 characters. And let's set a for tag to, for example, username. And also here I'm gonna create an input box. I'm gonna set the type to text because username is text, and ID is the same as for tag username, and also max length. Let's set the max length to 10. The username must not be more than 10 characters. And let's create a placeholder tag as well. Placeholder is equal to, for example, maximum 10 characters, and save it. Let's do line break, create 2 line breaks as well, and save it. Now you can see here that we created a username that the maximum limit is 10 characters. So we cannot go beyond 10 characters. For example, if I write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, I cannot write K because K is 11th character of the English alphabet. Okay, let's go and continue to our lessons. Less than, exclamation mark, dash dash. Now we are going to learn about the patterns. Pattern is a custom rule. So let's create a label and set the label to password. And the password, let's create a custom rule for the password. So I'm gonna set my password must be 6 plus characters, and also at least 1 number. Let's create an input box I'm gonna set the type to password, type password, and I'm gonna set the ID to password. The ID is equal to password as well. Here on the label also I'm gonna set the for to password. And let's set a pattern tag. Pattern tag equal to, so some rules. For example, this is this one, question mark, equal to, dot, and multiplication sign, and brackets 0 to 9. It tells us that it includes must be one number. At least one number must be included in the password. And also I'm gonna set dot curly brackets 6 comma. It tells us that at least 6 characters. Dot tells us that all the characters are included, and the minimum is 6 character and the maximum is n. So you can add any characters that you want. So let's set placeholder to example 123 or password 123. It means it must include one number at least, and required this field must not be empty. Okay, and line break, create 2 line breaks, br and br, to separate from the button. So now here you see that we created a password, and our password must be 6 plus character or more than 6 characters and at least one number. If it is not one number, if we don't write at least one number, it will appear here one error message. Let's go and set the name to, for example, Ali, and email address to, for example, simple algorithm at gmail.com, and enter your age. For example, my age is 20 years old, and maximum username, maximum 10 character. For example, here my username is Ali, for example, again, and type 6 plus characters. If I write A, B, C, D, E, F 6 character, but I didn't wrote the number, so if I submit it, here appear, please match the request form. So please match this rule that it must have 6 plus characters and at least one number. Let's quickly review what we learned today. We learned required, that it makes the field mandatory. We learned about minimum and maximum, that we have to set numbers limit like age, and we learned about max length. It limits the number of characters. We learned about the pattern that creates your own validation rules like password rules. This is how real website make sure users don't leave form empty or enter wrong details. In the next video, we will create a complete form project using everything we have learned so far. If this helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.